Hey folks, Nathan here from the Star Wars Timeline Gold, Star Wars Beyond the Films, the Star Wars Sports Rebels Roundtable, etc., etc., bringing you a look at the second-to-last Rogue Squadron Cycle Force Pack for Star Wars the Card Game, the LCG from Fantasy Flight Games, yes, LCG, called Chain of Command. Now, first off, I do find this kind of an amusing cover here, whatever you want to call it, a little insert here when you buy it, because yes, Thrawn is in this set, which is one of the big draws to this particular Force Pack, but Niles Ferrier? His card's not even in this pack. I wouldn't even have remembered that we had him before, except for the fact that somebody in the comments got a little butthurt because they didn't like the fact that I called this guy basically a second-string character, which, you know, he is. But he's not in this set, and yet here he is on the packaging. I found that a little bit odd. But you'll know this one more easily and more accurately as the one with Thrawn. We of course have the little card that tells you what's in it that you see on the packaging whenever it's inside the little plastic bubble. We do again have that Chain of Command, or whatever, any of the Rogue Squadron Cycle ones we're going to have this. The little rule supplement that explains how to use the pilot keyword and whatnot. It'll be interesting how they handle this in future installments that aren't from the Rogue Squadron Force Pack. Will they then have a supplement that deals with the pilot keyword for any of the packs that happen to have a pilot character, or are these limited to just this cycle? Should be interesting to see. But what's most interesting, of course, is what you're here to see, which are the new objective sets. We've got 5 this time around, 2 light side, 3 dark side, numbers 161 through 165. Each one, of course, has a duplicate set. None of these are limited to 1 per deck. Here we have, for the Jedi, A Hero's Beginning. You can almost hear Binary Sunset playing. Then Luke's X-34 Landspeeder. Owen Lars. Never expected to see an Owen Lars card. I never expected to use him in combat, but that's kind of cool. Moisture Evaporator. Unfinished Business. And then Supporting Fire. Also for the light side, this time for Smugglers and Spies, we've got Breaking the Blockade with Smuggling Freighter, then a second Smuggling Freighter, Duro Smuggler, a second Duro Smuggler, and Surprising Maneuver. For the dark side, we start with the Sith, with the Imperial Bureaucracy, with Sate Pestage, of course a major character from the Rogue Squadron comic series, though he did appear briefly in Return of the Jedi. We then have an advisor to the Emperor. We have Quarren Bureaucrat. Endless Bureaucracy, lots of bureaucrat and bureaucracy type words this time around. And then the Imperial version, or the the dark side version of Supporting Fire. Then we've got, for the Imperial Navy, the Last Grand Admiral. Ooh. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Nograi Bodyguard, either Nograi Bodyguard or Nogri, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Chain of Command, the card for which the set is named. And then yet another Supporting Fire. That's 3 out of the 5 objective sets this time that have Supporting Fire in it. Then for Scum and Villainy, we have Nar Shaddaa Drift, Race Circuit Champion, Racing Swoop, another Racing Swoop, Black Market Exchange, and then finally, Cut Off. I gotta say, this is not the most exciting of Force Packs when you're someone who is looking at it in terms of, gee, what are they adding to the universe? Really, the only big name being added, if you don't count Pestage or Lars, I would say they are, oh my god, second stringers like Niles Ferrier to some extent, though in both cases, probably more important and interesting than Niles Ferrier. Is the fact that we do have Grand Admiral Thrawn in here. So he's getting introduced into the game, which is kind of cool. Again, another thing that puts this safely within that sort of Legends continuity backdrop in how these stories are being told and where they're drawing their inspiration and characters from. Again, a decent Force Pack, not one that really stands out in terms of adding new things to that universe, but tactically speaking, pretty solid, just as long as you're not trying to play with the Rebel Alliance, because they didn't get an objective set this time. We'll be back soon with the last of the Rogue Squadron cycle.